We're back on the ego trips 101. I just made a video about this, but this is another one of those things that your ego or the thoughts about separation, not again that it's a separate entity, but the way the illusion will, or the game or whatever you want to call it, will try and keep you like, no, this is so dead ass and you actually are this character. You will be this character. Is asking outside of yourself, yeah, but how do I do it? Yeah, but how do I do it? Yeah, but why did that happen? Yeah, but what does that mean? Do you see all of those questions? How do I do it? How does that work? How is it? How did I do that? How do you do that? How did you do that? Why did I see that? Why did that happen? Why is that there? Why is it like that? You want to be told what to do. Like you're still like, okay, well, there's a process that I need to follow and there's something that I need to learn, and then once I've got that and I implement that and I follow it, then X, Y, and Z, I will get my thing at the end. Like, that is the train of thought that comes up. It just doesn't exist. Like, it genuinely doesn't. Now, if you want it to exist, again, my analogy I always use, if you want to create yourself an obstacle course, like a round of total wipeout with your assumptions that you have to follow, and then you get your thing at the end, you can do that because it's just you. So if you're like, okay, well, I visualize for 10 minutes every single day and then I always get what I want. Fantastic, honestly. But it's the same with everything. There isn't anything. The remedy for this comes down to actually sitting with yourself and acceptance that you are the only force at play. Everything boils down to this, which is why I don't mind repeating it like all the time. Because if you have actually been like, oh, no, I am actually the only source of reality. Reality is mine. I decide what I experience and who I am in any moment, and there isn't anything else apart from me in my reality. It's just me experiencing my mind, my assumptions, and that's it. If you have actually accepted it, then you stop seeking outside of yourself. Like, who are you asking those questions to? Who? It's like you're trying like bypass I know I'm the creator of my reality, but no, that doesn't work. It doesn't. You either have or you haven't actually realised or accepted that. There's no, I'm the creator of my reality, but how do I do it? That's not a thing. Like, it's just self-evident that you haven't actually understood or accepted or realised or whatever it is you want to call it. Because you're still seeking meaning. It is the mind trying to calculate or quantify the infinite. Like, it is still just being attached to your sense of identity being your ego. Like, you are thinking that you are your thoughts, that you are your emotions, and therefore you are following them wherever they go. So then it's like, let me think of an example. It's things like when I'm like, oh, you just decide, and we've explained all this before. All you've ever been doing anyway is just deciding what it is and who you are. Nothing else has ever happened, whether you're conscious to the fact that you create or not. Like, that's just what it is. And then you'll be like, yeah, but how do I decide? How I can't actually tell you that. Like, I actually can't, because it's just you. How do you decide anything? How do you decide what you're having for dinner? Like, it isn't a process or a technique. It's just understanding that it is your decision. So the same way that you decide if you're having pasta or if you're having rice for dinner is the same way you decide who you are. Like, you will give your power away to the end of the earth. Like, you know how to decide. Yes, you do. It's not any different. There is no intrinsic how. It is the realization or the acceptance that you are the creator of your reality, and that all that is happening anyway is just your decision and your assumption playing out in your reality. When you're at that point, you're like, oh, well, obviously I know how to decide, because if I say this is how I decide, then that's the truth. If I say I have decided, then I have. That's the truth. You're the only one that can say that. So who are you asking these questions to? And it's the same with the why. Yeah, but why did I see that in my reality? It doesn't fucking matter. Like, it genuinely doesn't. Like, there is no why. That's why. Because I can't provide you the answer to that question, because there is no answer. You are, again, the one assigning it meaning. I said this in my last video. So if you see something like unpreferable in your reality, I can say to you, well, you're experiencing your dominant identity, in the sense that if you have actually accepted that you are that person and you're not half-assing it, and you're not like, oh, but maybe I'm not, but maybe I am, but maybe I'm not, you're like, no, I actually am, then that's what you'll experience. But if you're still on the fence every 2 seconds, then what do you expect you're going to see out there? But again, you're the only one deciding what it means. So then if I'm like, this is why there's no why, because everything I just said is irrelevant if I then say, I want this job, and I've decided I've got that job, and then they ring me and they're like, oh, someone else has got the job. I'm the one who decides what that means. So you're like, oh, what if I see something or experience something opposite? I'm like, how do you know that's the fucking opposite? How do you know that's not the best case scenario? Because you're the only one that assigns it meaning. So if that happens, and then I'm like, oh, that's because they're actually offering me more money and they're offering me a higher position, and that's because they're actually thinking of a different role for me that's actually way better, then that's the meaning of it. So how is that the opposite? Do you see what I mean? And it's the same with being like, oh yeah, but I'm confused now because this person said this, but then this person said this, and that's completely opposite. That's your problem, because of course you're confused, because you're trying to take 3 million different perspectives on the now and cram them in and make them a one truth that doesn't actually exist. Like, you're the only one that decides. Like, when you actually sit with that and get that, there is no, you're not like, how does that, but how, but why is that, but when is, but who's who? If you have accepted that it's just you, who is the only one who is able to answer those questions for you? And I'm saying this with so much love, because the way that I teach is what I have found the most beneficial, in terms of, I could sit here and make up some bollocks about how and why, and get into all the quantum physics and read every single spiritual book to you and figure out the how and the why this happens and blah, blah, blah. And then you could take that on as your assumption and do what you will with it. But that just would be a limitation. And that would not be me pointing you to the power that you are. And that would still be you left being the person who seeks outside of themselves, and therefore you will eternally be seeking. Do you see? Like, it is literally not beneficial for me to be like, because I feel like sometimes it's like frustrating where you're just like, oh, I just want my question answered. But I'm like, the reason why people have so many breakthroughs with me is because they actually realise that it's them, it's not me. Is because you'll come to me seeking, which I totally get, and you'll leave realising that you're the only one with the answers. And that's not even philosophical, it's literal. You're like, oh, yeah, I actually just decide everything. I am literally the creator of my reality, and there is no way to do it. There is nothing happening. There is no process. There's just me, like, creating. If I'm like, oh, the way to create reality is to just say, oh, abracadabra, now I have my house. Like, I don't know. Then that's the truth. Like, that's as simple as it is. You are the creator of your reality, period. Like, there's no process, there's no how, and there's no why, other than what you say there is.